Thank you for coming back again. Now we're going to take just a brief look at the rainbow of promise before we do our further reading in the book, The Great Controversy. Beginning with Genesis chapter 9, after the flood, through verses 13 to 17, God said, I do set my bow in the cloud, and it shall be a token of a covenant between me and the earth. And it shall come to pass when I bring a cloud over the earth that the bow shall be seen in the cloud. And I'll remember my covenant, which is between me and you and every living creature of all flesh. And the waters shall no more become a flood to destroy all flesh. And the bow shall be in the cloud, and I will look upon it, that I may remember the everlasting covenant between God and every living creature of all flesh that is upon the earth. And God said unto Noah, This is the token of the covenant which I have established between me and all flesh that is upon the earth. And I want to take a look at Genesis 49:24. Okay, that was Genesis 9. What was that? It was 13 to 17, yeah. And also Genesis 49. What did I say? 24. The rainbow, I should emphasize, of promise. But his bow, speaking of, this is Jacob's blessing to Joseph, but his bow abode in strength, and the arms of his hands were made strong by the hands of the mighty God of Jacob. From thence is the shepherd, the stone of Israel. So the connection, well, with this bow, Joseph's bow was not like a bow tie or a bow ribbon. It was the bow that takes strength to bend it. Let's go to 2 Kings 9:24. 2 Kings 9:24. A commentary on Jehu here. And Jehu drew a bow with his full strength and smote Jeroboam between his arms, and the arrow went out at his heart, and he sunk down in his chariot. So the idea of this bow is the full strength that it takes to pull the bow. So when God put his bow in the cloud and attached his covenant to that bow, there was a symbol of God's strength to fulfill his covenant. Not just a pretty symbol that the funny bunnies of society have co-opted for their own use. And so we have an everlasting promise in the rainbow that is bent all the way by God's strength. In Revelation 4, 1 through 3, we see the bow again. After this I looked, and behold, a door was opened in heaven. And the first voice which I heard was as it were a trumpet talking to me, which said, Come up hither, and I will show thee things which must be hereafter. And immediately I was in the Spirit, and behold, a throne was set in heaven, and one sat on the throne, and he that sat was to look upon like a jasper and a sardine stone, and there was a rainbow round about the throne in sight like unto an emerald, a green rainbow. Now in the Bible, green is the symbol of life. It's growing things. I have a plant here. It's growing, and it's a symbol of life. And blue is the symbol of law, God's law over us in the arch of the heavens. White, the symbol of Christ's righteousness. Red, the symbol of Jesus' blood. But green is the symbol of life, and God has a green rainbow around his throne. So that means the rainbow is connected with the throne, and all thrones mean authority, strength, and power. Revelation 6:2, we have the white horse, and the rider on the white horse. And I saw and behold a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him. And he went forth conquering and to conquer. So it's not like a bow with no arrows. It's the rainbow of God's covenant promise that surrounds his throne, that symbolizes his authority, his strength, his power. He's the king of the universe, the monarch of all creation. And the bow is the symbol of his presence, his covenant, his power and authority as king. In Revelation 10:1, we see this rainbow again. Now we see it over the head of Christ as he comes to deliver a prophetic message, which the early Millerites discovered it applied to them. And I saw another mighty angel come down from heaven, clothed with a cloud, and a rainbow was upon his head. It's a crown representing the power and authority of the king of the universe. And his face was as it were the sun, and his feet as pillars of fire. So all that the king is, the angel is, that Christ is. And if we are the sons, the children of Christ, the brethren of Christ, that power is around us also. I want to read from the book Desire of Ages. That's page 493. The rainbow of promise encircling the throne on high is an everlasting testimony that God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. John 3:16. It testifies to the universe that God will never forsake his people in their struggle with evil. It is an assurance to us of strength and protection as long as the throne itself with the crown shall endure. Strength and protection to us, brothers and sisters. Now reading briefly from Great Controversy. Oops. Page 636. Great Controversy, for those of you on the other side of the pond. With shouts of triumph, jeering, and imprecation, that means dirty words, throngs of evil men are about to rush upon their prey, when lo, a dense blackness, deeper than the darkness of the night, falls upon the earth. Then a rainbow, shining with the glory from the throne, with the crown of God, spans the heavens and seems to encircle each praying company. The crown of the king encircles them. The angry multitudes are suddenly arrested. Their mocking cries die away. The objects of their murderous rage are forgotten. With fearful forebodings they gaze upon the symbol of God's covenant and long to be shielded from its overpowering brightness. By the people of God, a voice, clear and melodious, is heard saying, "Look up." And lifting their eyes to the heavens, they behold the bow of promise. So the rainbow is not just some pretty nice thing that God stuck in the clouds because he likes colorful stuff. It's a symbol of his throne, his authority as king, creator, and sustainer and ruler of the entire universe. How sorry it is for those who have co-opted that beautiful symbol for such vile practices. Now we're ready to read about Jacob's trouble in the Great Controversy. Please come back for the next segment.